Hello, I'm Joe Ruggiero, and welcome to my podcast, Inspired, and the people who inspire me. Well, you're in for something new today because you're going to hear my voice for the next half hour because I'm going to answer some of the questions that many of you have sent in to me, and I found them pretty interesting. Once again, I'd like to say that I'm recording this from the Calabasas Country Club, and we're on hallowed ground, because this is the former Warner estate, and this was Harry Warner's vacation retreat until someone suggested that he use it as a production facility. So the next couple of years, from about 1939 onward, movies such as National Velvet with Elizabeth Taylor and many other stars was filmed here. High Noon with Gary Cooper, Calamity Jane with Doris Day. They would build entire villages, one-dimensional, and then knock them down so they would have room to produce another film. I think you'll find it interesting if ever you get an opportunity to visit the Calabasas Country Club. Now, here we go with some questions. This is from Karen in Brentwood, California. I would like to know, during the product development phase for all the home furnishing products you have designed over the years, how do you choose what colors to use? Did they change with the seasons, trends, or do you stick with your favorites or best sellers? Well, that's a very, very interesting question because what I do is I take a look at pop culture. I want to know what's going on in the movies, opera, even with popular music, and what the entertainers are wearing, what the people who visit these concerts are wearing, and what the trends are in colors. And I can remember once going into House and Garden magazine and having this lady show me color trends and how color trends go up, come down, and go up again. So in many cases, we revisit some of the colors, but I keep a fine look at what the popular colors are. And then I work to design my fabrics and also the patterns of my fabrics. And many of these are drawn from the museums that I've visited or from the textiles that are in the archives of museums. And I can remember Sister Parrish saying to me, the well-known designer, for those of you who don't know her name, you've got to travel, you've got to train your eye, because it's with that information that you'll be able to design furnishings and fabrics. And I think that that was well taken. So thank you, Karen. Now we go to the next question, and this is from Howard in Brentwood, Tennessee. My question is, how often do you recommend to do updates to your home? Well, that's an interesting question because the famous Eleanor Brown, who was the founder of Macmillan, the legendary design firm in New York, never, ever changed her decor. The only thing that she would do is repaint, possibly every 2 years, different rooms. But she was content with the way she had originally designed her rooms, that they were going to last many, many years. And if you look at some of the installations she's done, she was right. And she lived to be 100 years old. So I guess that I guess that answers your question. But I believe in have it your way, what I affectionately refer to as the Burger King way of decorating. But I think you need to surround yourself with the things you personally love. Don't follow any trends or any dictates. Try to make it a home that you feel comfortable in. That would be my advice. Here's one from Lisa, and she comes from Sykeston, Missouri. Missouri is the way they pronounce it. But she asks, have you always had the love for interior design? And you know, I can remember as a kid, and I didn't really know, but I was particular about how my room was. And I would always rearrange things in the living room, changing pillows and accessories or whatever. And my parents allowed me to do it. I was encouraged by my parents. As a matter of fact, my mother really was an interior designer, but she didn't know it. And she was a homemaker, and she really loved design and always did a beautiful table, always at Christmas time. She would have a theme for the Christmas tree, but she was an exceptional woman. And as I grow older, I can see that I inherited so much from her vision and her design. But my father was not as encouraging that I pursue the interior design field or design. And he encouraged me to go to college, get my liberal arts degree, and then follow that to graduate school. And fortunately, I went into the communications field because I received my MA from University of Pennsylvania, the Annenberg School. And that brought me to CBS, where, incidentally, I met my wife. And it's been 56 years of really enjoyment, bliss, and great kids. She asked another question, too. What were your days like on HGTV? Well, HGTV really gave me a great opportunity to travel the world. And I can remember my daughter, who had just graduated from college, and she was concerned about not knowing what direction she wanted to go to. And I said, well, why don't you join my company? And I can't promise you anything, but I can expose you to a lot. And from there, when she joined me, we took off. We went to 16 countries in 4 months, compliments of HGTV. And then we had the opportunity of doing episodes throughout the United States. And that, too, was a great education because we visited various parts of the country. And then, of course, our first launch, which launched the network, Home and Garden Television, was a show called Homes Across America that I did with my co-host, the singer Leslie Uggams. And it was really great because she was the straight gal, and she would ask me questions because she didn't really know much about design. And we had a terrific opportunity to produce some very interesting magazine shows, and we did that in Riverside, California. And it was such a pleasure working with Leslie. So, Lisa, thank you very much, and also thank you for the wonderful comments you've provided me with these podcasts throughout the season. And we're just in our infancy, so I thank you for all who are listening. Now we get a real good question from, let's see here. This is from Pat, and she's from San Antonio, Texas. And she wants to know, what is the most important thing a designer must know? That's a real tough question because there are many, many things that a designer should know. But I think if you consider the people I've talked to, you can hire crafts drawing people, you can hire business managers, you can hire a lot of support team. But the most important thing is to have it, have talent, be able to put together a room. And I can remember an interview that Katharine Hepburn, the famous actress, said once, you've got to have it. I don't know what it is, but she certainly had it. And I think that applies to an interior designer. You've got to have it. You've got to be able to inspire your clients with the talents you have for making home a better place to live. And I often speak to design students, and I always say to them, you are changing people's lives. You are helping save marriages. You're helping provide comfort for a family or for even a single person. But you have in your vision, in your creative powers, the ability to create environments for people that only enhance their way of living. And I think that sums it up. So thank you, Pat, for that question. So I guess that's it. I thank you all for your wonderful questions. Keep them coming. We'll do another one of these in time. But I've really enjoyed meeting my guests because their journeys inspire all of us. Thanks a lot.